All right, welcome back to the channel, and today I've got a new toy to play with. It's the DJI Osmo Action 4. And even though the newer Action 5 Pro is out, I decided to get this one since it was $100 less. And for my purposes, I'm thinking that it should work okay. So what I'm going to do here is a walk and talk around the campus and just do a little test video. So my settings are shooting in normal color mode, but 10-bit with the HEVC codec. I'm shooting 30 frames a second at 4K with rock steady on. Now the other accessory that I got for this little unit was a K&F Concept quarter black mist filter. So I'm thinking that might soften the image up a little, but we'll see how it goes. So why did I get this little camera? Well, I'm getting ready to go back to the Philippines, and I have a nice Sony mirrorless camera. I've got the ZV-E10 Mark II. I've got a 20mm Sony lens, as well as the Sigma 30 1.4. And that works great. Except, when I was in Taiwan, I wanted to record a bunch of stuff, but it was raining. And that camera is not weather sealed. So I had to put it away and just use my cheapo cell phone, which was not a great solution. So with an action cam, it's waterproof. And since I'm a scuba diver, although now I mostly just go snorkeling, I can just pull this thing out in any condition and hopefully get a decent result. I'm certainly not going to get the blurry bokeh background, but for the kinds of things I want to document on my vacation, I'm kind of thinking this is going to work out quite well. So as you can see, it's a beautiful day on campus. I am just holding this cam with a little mini tripod attached to the bottom of it with the legs folded up. And I'll do them. Oh, the crows are everywhere. The other question, though, is that since I'm only taking a mini, tiny camera, can I actually edit this footage on an iPad since I don't own a laptop? And I'm hoping that that's possible, but we'll have to see. So let me get a shot of the main hall. Yeah, there we go. Main hall. Okay, so I'm panning around a bit. It's so bright out here I can't really see the screen, but that's okay. I'm wondering how well Rocksteady is gonna do here. And my screen just turned off. That's because I had it set to turn off at 5 minutes, but that's all right. I'll just tap it. Okay, just one tap and the screen comes back on. All right. Gosh, it's nice to walk around here in the morning. It's not too hot yet. See a few people out and about. The groundskeepers have done a great job on keeping this campus looking pretty sweet. Okay, so there is the Native American Center. We've got the dining lodge, the Grizzly, and more residence halls. And that's the LA building. I'm curious to see, after I put this video on a timeline, how well this little camera adapts to changing light conditions. Now I've got it set to auto exposure, except that I've limited the max ISO to 6400. And in the color profile, I'm shooting 10-bit, but in the normal color profile, not D-Log M. And I've reduced the sharpness by 1, and I've reduced another adjustment by 1, and I've also noticed that this camera can tend to overexpose things. So I kicked down to minus 0.3 EV on the exposure compensation, and everything else is pretty much auto. I've been watching a lot of videos about all of the accessories you need for your action cam. And I am a gearhead. I have gear acquisition syndrome. But this time, before I buy a ton of accessories, I am going to play with this camera for at least a month before I buy any more. I'm hoping, though, that this K&F Concept Black Mist kind of takes some of that digital action cam edge off the image. I'm also curious to know whether the stabilization for just doing walking stuff like this would work better if I shot at 60 frames a second instead of 30. Simply because that would force the camera, I think, to use a shutter speed of at least 1/120th, although because it's so bright out here, I would imagine that the shutter speed is pretty cranked up right now, and the ISO is maybe popping around a little, but it's probably close to 100. And if you can hear that, we've got I think the DC, yeah. Oh wow, that's, yeah, there's a DC-3 up there flying around. which is pretty cool. A little stage over there. We got the trees, the vegetation. Like I said, the groundskeepers have been doing a fabulous job on this campus. Everything is green, and it's looking pretty good. Although we are supposed to get a heat wave here soon, and that is probably going to do more bad things to my house than it is this campus. Now, I'm not trying to do the duck walk and keep myself as stable as possible. I'm just walking normally with this little cam on my folded up tripod. So, I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out. This is just a quick camera test. And again, it's the Action 4. I decided to go for something that was only $250. Let's see how it works. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.